Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Moi. So today we are going to be reacting on why you will hate living in Finland. So 7 reasons, right? So I really want to know the reason why someone would literally hate living in Finland because I've reacted to a couple of Finland videos and I know that country is sweet, right? Like based on all I've heard and all I've seen. So imagine you hating it. So let's go check out what this particular person has to say.
So you've packed your bags and ready to move to the happiest country in the world, Finland. Stop right there. While Finland is a superb country, there are a number of things that just suck. And I want to prepare and teach you those. Let's go. Hey, what's up? My name is Alexi. What is your name? Finns are not very inclined to meet strangers from the get-go and not very good at breaking the ice either. That is not because Finns are dumb or boring. This is because Finns value time and they don't want to waste their time or yours unless there is something very meaningful to talk about, like the 95 ice hockey gold medal. In addition, the Finnish social circles are quite established. From personal experience I can tell, for example, at home parties, there are this group of people who just hang out with themselves and sitting in their own group, and it's quite difficult to butt in. And if a stranger approaches you in Finland, it's either drunk, morjesta! Mitä mies? Gravely ill person asking for help. Soittakaa ambulanssi. Or someone who tries to sell you something. What do you buy? Again, from personal experience, I can say that it's just somehow much easier to small talk with the foreigner in English than with Finns in Finnish. So even Finnish people have trouble at this, not only foreigners. And the analogy I've used also on this channel is that Finns are like coconuts. Hard shell on the outside and empty inside.
Are you serious?
Just kidding. Delicious milk inside. So if you manage to make a friend with Finn, you most likely have a friend for life. But the thing is that you need to be proactive and take action yourself. And a quick example, my friend from Albania, he met his girlfriend in a shopping center. So he just approached her, they started talking, and now they've been together for years. So consider this a win-win situation. If you want to make friends with Finns, you need to learn to be outgoing, social, proactive. And if you just want to be alone, Finns will let you be. Win-win. I've applied for 20 jobs in Finland. Let's see what the replies are.
Are you
So in
serious?
2021, Yle reported that Finnish companies are suffering an all-time shortage of skilled workers. Despite this, large number of companies say that they won't risk hiring employees from abroad. And there was a survey of 500 Finnish companies, so nearly 40% of this organization told that they cannot use English as their working language. This is very complicated because either organization would have to change their working language entirely, or they would have to invest a lot of time and money to train a foreigner to speak good enough Finnish. And that is very unreasonable requirement because if you really want to work in a Finnish company in Finnish only, it would take at least a year or two to reach to that level. To add insult to injury, in 2019 there was a university study conducted where 5 fake job applicants with equal language skills and backgrounds applied for jobs in Finland. But their background was just different in terms of nationality. Finnish, English, Russian, Iraqi and Somali. They all spoke good Finnish and English. And the results were shocking. Out of all of these, white Finns got the most job interviews. And I've also heard stories that many masters and even PhD holders have ended up toilet cleaners and food delivery people in Finland.
Are you serious? But that's not cute.
And even xenophobic. So if they're never had to work with a foreigner, it can be quite high threshold to start working with a foreigner. But that being said, there are also many success stories of foreigners finding a job in Finland, so it's definitely possible, but it's good to understand that there are challenges. Hey, how do you introduce yourself in Finnish again? You can say, mun nimi on Alex. I thought it was nimeni on Alex. No, but that's written Finnish, you don't want to use that when you speak. Mun nimi on Alex. Next, let's talk about the notoriously hard Finnish language. First of all, Finnish is very different from the major languages because Finnish is a Finn-Ugric language, which is completely different from the Indo-European languages including English, German, French, Spanish, Italian, and so on. And yet another insult to injury is the spoken Finnish. Because in Finnish we have kind of 2 versions of Finnish, the written Finnish and spoken Finnish. Written Finnish is used in written form, like books, publications, news, and in very formal occasions. And if you would use this in regular dialogue, you would come across stiff and very unnatural. You would sound like a news reporter. So that is why it's important to also learn spoken Finnish. Quick example. In written Finnish, I is minä, but in spoken Finnish it's mä. And I am is olen, but in spoken Finnish we say o. Yet another problem is that when you actually try to use Finnish with Finns, they might reply in English. A quick workaround, just tell them that, hey, I'm learning Finnish, can we talk in Finnish? Problem solved. Hey, I got my pay slip, let's check it out.
Frustrating.
According to the Finnish Taxpayers Association, Finland had the 7th highest total tax rate among the OECD countries in 2020. Total tax rate means the taxes and tax-like payments collected in relation to the GDP. And as you may know, Finland has a progressive taxation. The more you earn, the more you pay. And the real challenge comes with the high marginal tax rates. Let me give you a few examples. If your annual income would be 25,000 euros, your tax rate would be around 15%, but you would have 37.1 marginal tax rate. So the marginal tax rate means that if your income would increase 1,000 euros, you would pay 371 euro taxes from that. If you make 50,000 euro a year, your tax rate would be around 33%, but your marginal tax rate would be 48.2%. So 1,000 euro increase would mean that you would pay 482 euros taxes from that. But it's also good to remember that we get quite a bit from the tax money, like inexpensive healthcare system, good social security system, so if life decides to kick your ass, you're not completely on your own, and also free education system from basic school to master's level at the university.
Winter.
So in Finland we have 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn and winter, aka fight for your life. While the climate is quite decent in Finland, winter is total BS. First of all, because Finland is located so far in the north, we get barely any sunlight in winter. Secondly, in Finnish we have pääkallo, eli skull weather literally is translated. And this is the type of weather condition where it's so icy.
So I really love how he's explaining these. And I think some of the things are like weird because I feel like jobs should be given to anyone, right? And then I know a lot of people have literally complained about the high tax, like you're making high money but you're paying it on taxes. Like it's frustrating. So I can a bit understand where he's going to, but this makes sense. And yeah, let's continue watching.
That it's very high risk to slip up and hurt yourself. This is actually a real deal because every year there are these news articles that these deadly weathers send people to health station and they will require doctors' work to heal this. And you also have to spend and invest your money in proper winter clothing because the temperatures can be as low as -20 to -30 degrees Celsius. So you're gonna get your winter shoes, jackets, scarves, hats, gloves and so on. On the flip side again, there are a number of fun winter activities such as ice swimming, cross-country skiing, snowboarding, or just jumping in the snow. Hey, check this out. I have listed for the first time my monthly cost. Let's check it out. According to stat.fi, Finland had the 8th highest total price level of private consumption in the EU in 2020, 26% more expensive. Finland has also a relatively high value-added tax VAT, which is 24% basic rate. So this is the rate that consumers pay on services and goods. So if a product's real cost would be 100 euros, the real final price for the consumer would be 124 euros thanks to the VAT. So the government takes the 24 euros in taxes. And according to numbeo.com, Finland has the 21st highest cost of living index in the world. Just to give some comparison, the rents are around 40% cheaper than in the US. And it always depends where you're comparing to. Finland can be more expensive or even cheaper. Like mentioned, Finns tend to avoid every unnecessary conversation. There's even a joke that small talk equals bullshit. It's not only difficult to approach Finns, but the communication can be also challenging. Instead of opening their mouths, they might just keep it inside, or sometimes write it anonymously on the internet. And I remember when I was back in the school, when the teacher asked something, you could also always raise your hand if you wanted to show that you're an active student. But it was kind of awkward because you would have to speak up in front of the class. In Finland, it's always been quite awkward. Luckily, my parents always pushed me to be active, and I'm really glad that they did that. Thanks to this, I've also heard complaints that the dating scene sucks because no one does anything, even if they're interested. And also the dates themselves can be quite awkward because of the silence. And there can be also problems in the relationships when either party is not opening about if there's something wrong. But again, we can find some good things about this. First of all, because no one's approaching anyone, there's no competition, but still we have lots of beautiful, intelligent, awesome people here in Finland. Single. People always say that Finns never smile and they're kind of grumpy looking and stuff, but I think that's not true. Instead, we just have the Finnish smile, which looks like this. And if you're moving to Finland, I strongly recommend you to check out my Move to Finland masterclass replay. You will get tons of tips for example.
Okay, this was nice. If Finn, what do you think about all he has made mention of? Let me know in the comment section. I think he's just speaking from his own experience, which makes sense. Freedom of speech, right? Yeah, this was interesting, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you guys in my next one.